What's up? Another day, another video. You know, you remember that video I made a while ago about the world goes on and on and on, and just continues. Well, I would like to sort of change that comment, or completely completely retract that comment. Because yes, I mean the world goes round and round and round, but the fact is it's not that the earth goes on, the world goes on. It's the fact that life is the thing that goes on. Life just goes on and on. The same things happening. So it's not so much the world, it's life itself that goes on. And the fact of it is that it will continue to go on even when I'm gone. Because evolution and new people coming into the world. But the thing about it is don't lose hope in a situation. Don't think that the world is ended because you screwed up, because you might, and here's why. You might find that you get a surprise. And you might find that after all is said and done, in spite of everything, that, whatever the case may be, you might find, in spite of everything, whatever it is, doesn't matter, you might find that that situation, although there were clouds at the very beginning, you might get a pleasant surprise. And ironically, the sun is shining. And right now, in my mind, the sun is shining. I mean, yes, there were clouds, and there's always clouds, but most situations, most of the time, I'd say 99.9% of the time, most of the time, whatever the situation is, I don't know. Only you do. But whatever the situation is, there is eventually sun most of the time. And you might get a pleasant surprise. And in spite of everything, you might get just what you wanted. And you just might. It eventually the sun will shine. And today that's exactly what is happened to me, because and it can happen to you too. It happens most of the time. Now, I'm not saying all cases that it happens, but most of the time it happens. And it's a good thing when you get to this point. This is a good point to be. Now, having said all of that, there is something that I want you to listen closely to. Because you've been given a second chance in spite of everything, don't fuck up. Don't go into your monkey mind. Don't go into your head. Don't start thinking things that aren't there. Because you have been given a second chance. Maybe even a third chance. Maybe even a fourth chance. And I would encourage you, and I would strongly suggest, if you've been given another chance by somebody in spite of everything, then don't fuck up. Do not fuck up. Because if you do, chances are, well, never mind chances. Well, yeah, chances are you're gonna be in the same boat. There's gonna be hurt feelings again, and then blah 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 blah, and everything all over again. Da 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 da. Well, here's the key to keeping things copacetic and good in this regard. One thing is learn to shut the fuck up and listen. Number 2 is don't go into your monkey mind. Number 3 is be respectful of boundaries. Let's say you have a group of friends, for example, and one of you is not respecting boundaries. Now, of course, I'm not going to explain what boundaries are because it's pretty self-explanatory. Some people don't understand boundaries, but I'm taking it if you're watching this video, you have a pretty good understanding. It's very, very important, and this is my world's biggest lesson that I've learned over the course of this time. This is my biggest lesson ever. Out of all the lessons I've learned, this is my biggest lesson. And, whatever I learn now is not going to compare at all. But, okay, let me put it short and sweet and to the point. If you have friends, if you have a group of friends, then, okay, yes, friends are there for each other. Friends help each other in difficult times. Yes. And, friends joke around, friends play around, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But, okay, here's the other thing. There is what is called a boundary, and you have to be respectful of that boundary. You absolutely have to be respectful of that boundary, because what's going to happen is your friends aren't going to want to be around you, and they're probably going to say, well, or maybe, what kind of a friend is this? What kind of a friend is this? Because you're not respecting a boundary. And I know I said it before, but I'll say it again. Yes, yes, friends help each other. Yes, friends are friendly. Yes, friends joke around, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Friends help each other in difficult times. Friendship is friendship. But there is a boundary. There is a boundary there, and you don't want to cross that boundary. Because if you do, the short of it, here's what's going to happen. Like I say, your friends aren't going to want to be around you, and you're going to have a real, real lonely life. And I know a lot of you watching this video don't want that particular lonely life. You know, none of us want to be alone. And just, I strongly urge you, do not, okay? Yes, you know, and I'll say this one final time, and I'm not going to say it again. You know, friends help one another in difficult times. That's what friends do. That's a part of friendship. And, you know, friends joke around with each other and all that stuff. But at the same time, there is a boundary. At the same time, along with all of that, you know, all of that is great. All of that is fine, because that's just a part of friendship. But at the same time, there is also a boundary. And you absolutely must take into consideration and be mindful of not crossing that boundary. So, that's it for me. Guys, if you like this video, leave a comment down below. And also, like this video if you liked it. And share, because there's somebody out there who needs to hear this.